Hello, hello, everybody out there in the land of the internet and internet land, which is bonky internet. Welcome back to another episode of the No Skill Podcast. Hi, how's everybody doing? Leave me a comment down below. What's your favorite dessert? I know we did dinner last week. Now we're gonna go with dessert. Mine's gelato. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of the No Skill Podcast. We are out here back at it again at the bonfire, and as usual, I am your host. I am DJ. To my left, your right is Brandon.
Gonna be a little chill for me today.
By the way, nice new suit, dude. I like it.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, dude. Nice little Nardell was got it. And then to my right, to your left is Mikey.
Hey, I'm here. I'm surviving. Going to be very stagnant this episode, but I'm here.
Who at this point might just be like, we just might need to rename you Desktop Danny.
You know, man, I feel like I've survived a shitty horror movie virus. Something with 28 days and later, and then eventually becoming weeks. So potentially stepping down.
I mean,
Maybe
shit, with what you were hit with, they might as well. They're probably gonna make a movie about it at some point.
Oh yeah,
Dude, with how bad Friday was. Oh,
speaking of movies and 28 weeks later, good movie by the way. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. We haven't done one of these in a long time since the first campfire, but we're going to be talking about movies, more specifically horror and thriller movies. If you'd like to know like where we came from, I'd say go back to one of our past podcasts where we talked about comedy movies and action movies. That was actually pretty solid episode. And kung fu movies. That one we had a certain Dirtle on for that episode, and that was actually pretty solid. But yes, so we're going to be talking about horror movies, thriller movies, things that are supposed to be scary, action-packed, murder on the mind, all that fun stuff. Because those, honestly, that's my favorite genre of movie to watch. Next to side-splitting comedies, but nothing like a good horror/thriller movie to get you. Huh? What do you think?
Oh yeah. I have such a soft spot for that stuff, man. I just went to catch The Nun 2 a few days ago, and I enjoyed that.
I want to see that so bad. How is it? How is it?
I was just about to say.
So I get where people's complaints come from. The pacing is odd. For sure, the pacing's odd. But as a whole, the movie's very good. It kind of builds up from classic horror, and at the end, it gets very modern. It does big set pieces, big over the top craziness. I think it was good. I think it was a solid modern horror movie. Like, would I say it's going to beat The Exorcist? No. But for what's coming out these days, solid 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shit, nowadays modern horror movies are hit or miss.
Very.
I was actually about to say, Brandon, your take before I interject here on horror movies, because we were talking a little bit off cam, and that's why we had to record now before we expelled the content without making content. Yeah. So then your take on horror movies? You said that
absolutely love horror, anything, movies, games, whatever. I love them, but it's also seen them so much to the point where it's also kind of ruined them for me because I don't get scared easily by them anymore. But I love watching them either way. Around this time of year, like I'll watch horror movies throughout the entire month, and then I'll just stop and give it a rest until next year.
Yeah. See, I am a horror movie nut to where at one point, I was going to the movie theater at least once a week to go watch some random movie because, before I moved, the movie theater was right there, and some of the horror movies that would go through that movie theater, I'm like, who? Well, horror/thriller movies, because some of these movies were just downright ridiculous, but some of these movies were, I'd say like underrated classics. But real quick, before I go into that, I want to talk to you about the whole Nun thing. As much as I love the Nun, that entire franchise and series, we spoke about it briefly with 2 other franchises we'll mention. But at one point, are you just kicking a dead horse with this whole because the Nun movies plus Curse of La Llorona, they're all tied to Annabelle the doll. So at one point is too far.
So I will say the Conjuring verse has done a lot.
Yes.
Where I believe it stays fresh is the universe is always expanding in different directions. Like you said, there's the Annabelle, there's the main Conjuring, and then there's the Nun and the spin-offs. I don't want to get into the spin-offs because they were just really grasping at straws. But I mean,
Hmm.
that could be a whole thing. But I think they do a very good job of telling a very diverse story. They're not trying to beat a dead horse in the traditional sense where most paranormal activity movies
Ooh, he said
would
it.
just keep
Ooh.
going back to the same storyline over and over again. This is where these characters come from. This is how it ties together. This
Mhm.
is the founding members that branch everything. They're the glue that hold it together. And where I I think they keep it fresh is each movie is very different. The Nun doesn't feel like Annabelle. The Conjuring doesn't feel like the Nun. In a modern day and age where everybody really dials things down and tries to make everything very user friendly, this movie pulled zero punches. Oh my god, was it brutal? Was it dark? And people got murked in some truly gruesome practical effects.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm very excited to see that.
Don't get me wrong, they did do some wacky CGI stuff later in the movie, but coming out right out the gates, just swinging, bro. There's a scene where this kid just gets MK10
Oh
brutality,
my god.
and it cuts away, so you're like, "Oh, we're not going to see the worst part of it." And some PA with a bucket of blood is just sitting there hosing that shit onto the camera. And you're like, "Oh my god, this is aggressive for 8 minutes into the film."
Now
Like,
I
dude,
can't wait to go see that with my boyfriend. That's gonna be interesting.
dude, that's one thing that I always find so funny about horror movies is like how much of that budget went to just fake blood. Like, did you have to rent 3 cement mixers and fill it all with the shit just because of the amount of blood they're gonna go everywhere? Because the only person that can really rival how much blood is put into a horror movie is any movie ever produced by Quentin Tarantino. Like
Yeah,
that
that's
ending scene in Django
Or
with the burning house.
what is that
dude, the
freaking
blood squips in that movie are so good.
or what is that movie like company that made it's the same movie that made that horror movie, the zombie movie with like that lady with a gun for a leg.
Oh, okay, Grindhouse.
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 I was like, those guys use a lot of blood too.
Planet Terror is a cult icon, but the whole Grindhouse genre, dude, you just need buckets of blood. They even made one called Blood Drive, where the demonic cars they run on people's blood instead of gasoline. So you have to hack people up and like dump them in the engine, and the engine opens up and eats them. It's a gore fest.
It's like if like the focus is on cars, but it takes place in the world of Mad Max. Because I know cars are like a big focal point in any grindhouse movie. Yeah, I forgot.
Some of them, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, because I forgot the name of one of them where it's like it revolves around like these 3 women that are about to go try and kill like this one super
Death
bad
Proof.
dude. Huh?
Death Proof.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. Yes, the focus is on the car because that's how he murders people. Because the driver's seat is 100% death proof. Everywhere else, not so much. That's just a stupid line. They get Kurt Russell to do that. Who did that? I'm gonna look that up.
You're the one on desktop. You can go look that up.
I am looking it up.
Yeah. But that's one of the things that I love, and going back to just to retouch up on Annabelle and all that, because again, I asked like how far is too far, and you did prove a point of like, even though there is the Conjuring plus the Annabelle movies plus the Nun movies plus La Llorona, where there are 4 different movie franchises, but they're all circled around one plot point.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You're building a universe, and I think there's a proper way to do that. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be a dick. As much as I love Saw, it's not building a universe. It's bad shit keeps happening to these relatively similar people over and over again. And it was Kurt Russell, which is a wild,
I think
wild.
what also just really draws me in with the Conjuring series is that it's all based around or somewhat around like the Warrens, and then
Mhm.
for a long time or for a while, I did research and watch a lot of stuff about the Warrens and their like history and all that, and that really just intrigued me. And the finding out later on that the Conjuring series is on a lot about a lot of their cases, and I'm like, now I gotta watch
Mhm.
these things because they're just you already piqued my interest.
It does add a crazy level of intrigue when it is actually based on a true story, and these are real people that you could verify existed.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Like the legitimacy of their claims, obviously going to be up for debate, but there's more to buy into.
yeah.
Oh, real quick before I go back to Saw, the one thing
Mhm.
that I loved about the whole Annabelle thing is it was, like you said, it was based off, like loosely based off of true events. That Annabelle doll, for those that know where I live, that Annabelle doll was on display 3 cities away from where I live in this state. Like you could actually go and see the damn thing in
Too
person.
close, too close for my comfort.
I was telling my friends like, "Let's go," but the doll's cursed, and
This is why we'll never have a no skill house, right here.
Yeah, no.
I will be the token first black guy dead in the scene. But yeah. So then going back to Saw, real quick, I just want to say, even though yes, I do firmly believe that Saw and a couple other franchises are kind of just kicking a dead fucking horse because it's essentially the same thing over and over again. But I did like the story, like I guess you could say not the story, but the incentive behind the Saw universe is like this one dude is going full vigilante and he's taking abhorrently horrible people that do horrible things to horrible people and making them make decisions and go through physical and mental and emotional pain and exhaustion to teach them a lesson.
Sometimes, and that's kind of where I have a small issue with this character. There are times where he just picks people that he feels need to move on with their lives and just puts them through hell. Like, sometimes it's justified on a weird, skewed sense of justice. And then other times he's just like, you know what, you in the back, I'm ruining your life tomorrow.
You have an unpaid parking ticket? Come with me.
Although I
I mean,
still
Like,
remember that scene with Chester Bennington that was in it, and to rip his back off.
oh yeah. Yeah, but I
Yikes.
think that's what I appreciate about the Saw movies is the fact that it was, at least to my knowledge, when I first got into horror movies, especially around the time, especially around Saw One, that was the first movie that I ever was introduced to that was gruesome. I know the
mm,
horror genre's been around forever, but growing up in the household that I never got to really experience them until later on in my adult life. But Saw One was where I was like, dude, this movie is fucked up. He's making this dude cut off his own leg to
so
save
you've
himself.
never seen the Hostel movie, correct?
Oh no, I've seen Hostel now.
Oh, okay, but at the time
Okay.
you hadn't seen.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Alright.
those came out first. And those things are fucked up for the day
It's
and age
so
they came out.
fucked up.
See, that's a movie franchise I wouldn't mind making another movie because they haven't overdone it and produced a movie once every 2 years. Is Hostel? Like how many hostels are there? 3, 4?
4, I think. I'm double checking.
I've only seen 2. I need to watch the others.
Uh, there are indeed 3 actually. I thought there was
Ah.
a 4th, but apparently it was a shitty straight to DVD spin-off from a third party company.
Oh, well,
Doesn't
fuck
count.
that. No, doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Yeah, so there's 3 official ones.
Which is cool. But like I said, I I kind of dug what he was going for, but then you are correct. At some point, he just went a little too vigilante with it,
Mm.
Mm.
and then another franchise that's a classic, a cult franchise, probably one of the most notorious fictional serial killers, but fucking Jason Voorhees and the 10 Friday the 13th movies that they made.
But
Yeah.
that's you can say that about all those like classic horror icons because Freddy Krueger has a fuck ton of movies. Halloween series
He
is a
doesn't
fuck
have,
ton of movies.
well, Halloween just put out their fifth and final movie, and Nightmare on Elm Street only has 4,
That
5
is
if I'm
not
including.
true.
I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, that is not true.
I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Adrian would be screaming at you right now.
I'm going to Google. Because I was about to say, there's no way there's more Nightmare on Elm Street movies than Friday the 13th.
I'm not too sure on how many Halloween movies there are.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm counting 7.
How many Halloweens?
7's less than 10.
7's a lot.
That sounds a lot.
Still less than 10. On how many?
You said there was like 3.
Okay, so I was off by 4. There's oh wow, never mind. I was very wrong. Mr. Michael Myers has 13 movies in his own right.
Yeah.
But are we counting?
Yeah, because I think they came out with 3 recently just to finish off the series.
The series reboots that Rob Zombie and his company started doing.
That's the thing, though. They recasted Freddy Krueger once.
Yep.
And everybody hated it. With Michael Myers, you can legit recast him to anybody as long as they have the right build, because you're going to cover him up and he doesn't talk much.
Yeah,
it's a very
he doesn't talk at all.
Character.
And I saw the one that's just called Halloween, where it continues the story to where he escapes his prison.
Mm-hmm.
That was not bad. I expected worse, but it was pretty good. It kind of got me wanting to watch the last 2 that finish off the series, so I can say I actually finished it.
Yeah, again, at Halloween, honestly, okay, real quick, of the franchises we just listed. So, and we'll talk a little bit more on Nightmare on Elm Street here in a moment, but because we mentioned like your big 3 serial killer or fictional serial killers are Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and Michael Myers. A, who's your favorite? But B, just because I want to know, who you taking on in a fight? Who do you think you stand a chance against? So we'll start with favorite. Mikey?
I gotta say Freddy Krueger is my favorite because
Okay.
the sheer premise of him lets the writers completely play with the concept. You have this crazy dream demon that kills people in real life, in the dreams. He's manipulative. He's a showman. There's this like such a diverse set of storytelling you could just go into with how open he is. And some of the movies kind of flopped, but some of them have the most recognizable kills and lines. And when the villain has a line that says "Welcome to prime time, bitch," and he grabs her by her shoulders and pushes her through his torso, that's an LCD. Something so good about that as just a mean, shitty, spiteful character. It's so fucking great.
Honestly, I think he has the most iconic way anybody could call somebody bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah.
To where they tried to parody it in Rick and Morty, and I'm like, this is funny, but you're still missing the mark. All right, so then moving on to, if you were to find yourself in a one-on-one scrap with either of these fictional murderers, who do you think you can take?
I think I'd have my best bet against Mr. Michael Myers.
Mm.
Because canonically, he's the only one who consistently, when he goes down, he can go down for the difference between one movie to the next. Whereas when Freddy and Jason go down, they're up on their feet within minutes.
Yep.
The only caveat to that was dropping Jason from space. And I don't think I have that in my current arsenal.
And even then, he was just like, yeah, that kind of sucked.
That was the one they ended ambiguously on, where his mask falls to the bottom of Crystal Lake because he got dropped from upper atmosphere. Of course, he somehow still nailed Crystal Lake, this tiny little blip on our big blue planet. Could you and land in the Mediterranean or some shit, which I think would be an even funnier movie. But that's just
he lands in the Nile River, and then the next movie is 2,000 years later. A bunch of Egyptians like pull him out from the sea.
Yeah, like you have a lot of potential to put him anywhere on the planet. Now let's just drop him into this random Midwest, like exactly where he came from. It's kind of lazy.
From the stratosphere all the way to the same pond that killed him when he was a child.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
That dude's got bad luck. That's what he has.
That's shifting down the bench of the three that we listed. And trust me, I know there's more. Okay, so calm your titties. I'm just talking about these three in particular because in my personal opinion, these are the three most notorious, most famous fictional serial killers in older modern
Cinema.
cinema media.
Yeah.
So that of
So
these three, favorite.
I had to go with Freddy Krueger as well. Because
Okay.
out of the three of them, he is the one that kind of just brings the personality. Because the other two are silent killers.
Yes.
But Freddy will straight up call someone a bitch. And I love it. And his whole premise of being a dream demon is just so much. I don't know. I just find it awesome. And how the
Okay.
freedom they can go with it.
Because one of the things that again, I think Freddy is absolutely fucking incredible as well. Would you say he would be the charisma killer since he's the most talkative one?
Yeah, he would be a
Yeah.
more charismatic protagonist.
Definitely.
I think him and Ghostface definitely hit a niche where they're playing games. They're not just out here slashing. It's entertainment to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I know you mentioned that you're not much of a scrapper, but if you could go 3 minutes, you're in here with me for 3 minutes. With one of these, who would you want it to be?
Michael Myers.
Any
I
particular
think
reason?
he's. If I remember correctly, because it's been a long time since I watched them, I'm pretty sure he's the only one that's not paranormal.
He is.
He is,
Yeah,
okay.
technically.
Kinda. Isn't he still technically human? Like, you can kill him in a human way. Kinda.
Getting lore nerd here. He's the true embodiment of evil. And the rumor is that if him and his sister die at the same time, they'll actually die. But that's never been proven true, as they keep having Jamie and Curtis come back
Well,
If him and his sister
and
do what at the same time?
die.
Oh,
Well, maybe, I don't know. They haven't seen the last movie. Apparently it's the last one, so I don't know. We'll see how that ends. But
there's always a last one, and then there's the okay for real last one.
Yeah.
well, they did Halloween, then Halloween kills, and then Halloween ends or dies or something. I don't know.
Well, you got to remember that's because the franchise was rebooted by another company, and I think it's the company that Rob Zombie owns.
Yep.
Yeah, but
He
yeah,
Rob
no,
Zombie's
but no, you were right. The last movie to them could be totally different, like 5 years down the line.
And I think Rob Zombie, once he finally ultimately retires from rock music, he's gonna his new passion project is gonna be directing.
But yeah, out of all of them, Michael.
All right. For me, my favorite one, I have to give it to I'd have to say Jason Voorhees. I had to be the odd man out and say my favorite is Jason Voorhees because I think his entire storyline is just so goofy. Of like, I died at this lake because some irresponsible camp counselors were too busy having sex, and now I seek vengeance by haunting this lake and killing anybody that comes here. Enough said.
Trying to wrap my head around something right now. Just ignore me.
I could be a little ignorant in my thinking of that, but that's just what I've gathered of like as soon as anybody goes to that fucking lake. And you know it's gonna be bad too, because like I forgot what the last one was that I watched, but they were just like, no, we shouldn't go here because that lake is haunted. Rumor has it that the dude who died here still haunts it to this day. Screw him, bro. Let's take us and our puka shell necklaces and go there anyway. And now
that's how most horror movies start.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna fucking die.
And then someone always dies having sex.
Always. Somebody always dies having sex. Somebody always dies while peeing.
Huh. That peeing one shows up more than I'd like to admit. I just thought back on that.
Oh yeah, true.
But then on the opposite hand of a guy that I think I could take on, uh, technically, given my arsenal, I'd want to fight Jason. Well, not even fight Jason, but like hurl grandma's sweater at him, and you got about 5 minutes to not be where you currently are.
You got
But
enough
then if
of
you,
game rules.
yeah, why not? Taking my advantage.
You know, the people who wrote that game and the people who wrote the movie kind of hate each other, right?
Yes,
Okay. Just making
Okay.
sure
All right.
that's
All
what I'm
right.
doing. I'm
All right.
trying. I'm trying to be cringe.
you're succeeding.
Very
Then
much so.
again, well, I mean, I wonder why they would hate the gun media and the people that made it. They basically made a game to where once gamers knew how to win, it's just 20 minutes of bullying Jason and before you ultimately kill him and make him look like a
That's not
fucking
it.
bitch.
It was a crooked business deal.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Mhm,
It's a
yeah.
small time project. We'll give you a small fee and we'll have fun. It's a very fan driven. It's not going to make a lot of money. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That game took off like a fucking rocket ship.
Yeah.
But that's a whole ordeal.
And now that license is in limbo.
Forever.
That's why the servers are turning off, but the game won't leave Xbox Marketplace because you can still do the quote unquote single player, which is just the tutorial on it. So then, like, Han, who said they would fight Michael Myers?
Both of us.
Yo.
Okay. Did you take into account that he technically can't kill you since neither of you are his target? He's still trying to get Miss Connor.
That
Or
is
whatever her
not
name is.
true. He'll
Not
kill
true at all.
anybody who's in his way.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
he's just gonna be in his way.
The newest movie established that he can infect other people so they can spread his evil.
What?
So, yeah. You haven't seen the new ones? I wish I was in VR right now because there's this really awkward scene where a teenager like tries to befriend him and they get uncomfortably close and they just stare at each other and like in each other's eyes for a few seconds, and then the new kid who's like a sweetheart the whole movie but with a tragic past just becomes evil. Just full psycho killer evil in like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some dog ass writing right there.
Kind of like how the pig carries out Jigsaw's fucking dirty work.
Well, she has a weird complex. She like looks up to him in a twisted kind of way, and like it's built up. It's not this supernatural creature just mean mugs you for a couple seconds and now you have a heart.
Oh. Okay.
I'm a horror nerd, and I know way too much lore about these fucking movies.
He does. That's why we're gonna be turning to him a lot if we need to know something in specific.
He's what they
What
do.
else?
Sorry, chair broke.
You're
I'm
good.
okay.
Well, so I want to move on to another like very elite franchise that
Siege.
Han?
Real quick before we jump onto it, I forgot I wanted to tell you guys. When we went to see The Nun, Mando nudges my shoulder and looks at the crowd because it was a packed house. Packed
Oh.
house, floor to ceiling. And it's like, oh, we're going to get some good reactions. And I can't see shit in the dark. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I was also kind of buzzed. I was drinking. And and probably 5 minutes into the movie, a brutal jump scare hits. Like this one was rough on a lot of levels. Whole crowd, everybody's gasping. Couple people, all the way at the top and the back. Hijo de la madre! You just hear shit spill all over the ground, like someone threw their fucking popcorn and drink yellow hard. Like, oh yeah, I forgot what it killed me.
Dude, that's what I
Yeah.
love. Is like when you have either the scared black person, or the scared Hispanic, especially the scared Hispanic. You'll just hear it get slung.
Hijo de madre.
A bunch of fucking Boston baked beans just flung across the fucking chairs at everybody.
It's like one of
Oh,
my like before I go on to the next franchise, one of my favorite reactions that I heard is so I was watching this. It's technically a thriller movie called the Black Phone. Basic premise is this dude has been going around this city. It takes place in the 80s, but he's been going around the city kidnapping children and then killing them. And so he kidnaps this one little boy. And inside this room that he's held in, there's a literal black phone on the wall that's not plugged into anything, but it'll mysteriously start ringing. And when he finally picked up the phone, he hears voices on the other side. Speedrunning it, it's the previous dead victims talking to him and trying to teach him how to escape.
okay.
And
Okay.
during one of the phone calls, they say he's gonna leave the door open on purpose. Don't go through it. It's a test. And they pan over to when he goes over to the door. They show what's upstairs. It's old boy upstairs, no shirt on, wearing a moose mask, standing by the door with a belt on, and you just hear a group of I. This is me to some racist. Plus, as a black man, I do the same thing too. A group of black people behind me just go, "Oh hell no!" Dramatic pause. That chest is hairy.
What?
They were so scared of him, but then they saw his chest hair and they went, "Oh yeah, nah." But that's some of my favorite things about going to horror movies is the reaction that crowds will give. Like this is the one thing where like I hate to say that might be the downfall of movies is like we mentioned Paranormal Activity where it's nothing but just jump scares. I don't find jump scares scary. It's just something now appeared on screen that wasn't there a brief second ago.
They can be done right.
Yeah, they can be, but they're also can be overdone.
I have the same opinion of jump scares that I do on CGI. If you're gonna do it right, do it sparingly and do it tastefully. If it's what you're relying on, you're gonna end up with films like well, I don't know, what's a prime example? Green Lantern that are absolute dog shit.
Ooh, yeah, that steaming pile of shit.
Just saying, they relied heavily on CGI. They thought it was going to be the next big thing. It kind of is, but it can't be your focal point. You have to spread it out.
I mean,
Some
they
of the
showed films how not to do CGI.
Well, some of the greatest horror films, and I'm just going to throw out John Carpenter's The Thing, are so legendary because they use practical effects. They're not relying on, look at this scary monster we photoshopped into the background. It's no, look at this thing. We made it in a garage. It moves, it works, it's slimy, it's horrible.
And that's the type of horror that I wish they would bring back. Is like the actual monster or entity itself is what's terrifying. Some of the acts that they're doing, like some of the gruesome ways to kill people, it's terrifying. Not just got you.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the grip of horror movies is starting to get lost. Is now a lot of these franchises are just relying on jump scares, and it's not working. I think
It also sucks when these movie companies want to remake movies and it turned out to be worse than the original.
Yeah.
Although the Evil Dead one was pretty good.
I was just about to bring up Evil Dead. Like, the Evil Dead Rise was probably the last like good gruesome-esque horror movie I've seen. Granted, as a movie critic, I had some of my critiques about it. Nothing bad about the movie itself, but some of the set dressing, like, oh, you're in a power outage, but your bedroom lights are on. But that's just me being nitpicky.
I haven't seen Evil Dead Rise, but I did see the Evil Dead remake itself, and that one was pretty good. I wasn't disappointed. Actually, there was
an actual remake of the first Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah.
Oh,
you haven't seen that?
No, I thought you were talking about Evil Dead Rise.
Oh shit. Well, Evil Dead the remake. Actually, I feel that there were some points of it that were weaker than the original, but there also were points that were stronger than the original.
Okay.
And I wasn't disappointed. I think even some of the gruesome stuff was well done, and it kept the creep factor.
Okay. Because that's exactly what Evil Dead needs, because that's what it was like based off of. Like I remember watching the original one, it was just being creeped out at seeing those creatures trying to bust through that hatch door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never living in the
Although
fucking
I
woods.
did hear a heavy sigh coming from Mikey. What's up, man?
I'm not gonna have a snobby opinion. I'm just conflicted because Evil Dead to me is a very good candidate for a reboot when you know how cheap the original movies were to make,
Uh-huh.
even for their times.
Yeah.
So I think it is a very promising uh candidate for reboot. I haven't seen a new one. I was very against it because to me, Evil Dead's always going to be that scary, campy, kind of tongue-in-cheek horror from back in the day. I didn't know if a one was too serious, so I'm just really conflicted on it. The Evil Dead and Army of Darkness,
So have you
and
seen the remake at least?
I have not.
I think you should give it a
Nope.
shot.
And
Okay.
I will say you should give Evil Dead Rise a shot too, because I went into it with this is gonna suck balls, and I can't wait to make fun of it. And I walked away with, you know what? They kept the gruesome factor. Hell, at one point you watch somebody get pushed through a wood chipper.
Holy fuck!
Oh my god.
Yeah,
All
That is
right.
a lot. That is a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, just watch somebody get bodied through a wood chipper, and I'm like, huh, you know what? I can see that. But when you're talking about Evil Dead being rebooted, one of my questions is now, who do you think would, I don't want to say the term worthy, but who do you think would portray a very good Ash Williams, or at least his protege, whatever his name would be?
Hmm.
Because I don't want to have the whole, well, Bruce Campbell would just reprise his role. No, who do you think would make a good follow to Ash Williams, or whoever his protege is supposed to be?
Ugh.
I he's getting too old for it, but I think Matthew Lillard would be a good stand-in.
Ooh, good on Patty Matt.
He's
And he
very
has
good at
experience
playing
with freaky shit. He did do Scooby Doo and Mystery Island. Just
them.
saying.
Excuse me, how do you not cite 13 Ghosts?
Oh. Oh
I
yeah.
just wanted to
Fuck.
I just wanted to mention Scooby Doo. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay, but if
Okay,
we're talking about
okay.
horror credentials here, Dark Castle Films. Oh my god, do they have such a fucking special place in my?
Yeah, 13 Ghosts was good. I like that movie. I haven't
That
seen it
was
in
supposed.
years though.
I watch that every year religiously. It is a must.
I need to find out where I could find it. It's probably gonna be on Amazon though, like everything else that's not on the other ones.
Yeah, probably.
Now I'm
YouTube
thinking about
videos
something.
got good stuff.
Now I'm trying to think who would make a good Ash Williams. Because I know Matthew Lillard would be absolutely fucking phenomenal, but for like a young actor, somebody that can like take the role and run it fresh and actually get a good couple movie stint out of it, it'd have to be somebody. Oh, I got it.
Hmm.
Chris Motionless.
Oh my.
Chris
Chris
Motionless.
Motionless.
I don't think I'm on board with that.
No,
one.
I'm not.
Why not?
You're better off saying fucking Alex Terrible, even with his accent.
I think that'd be great.
It would
He's
be
a
great.
Russian immigrant
It would be
who's
great.
trying to fit in, and now he has to fight demons, and ghosts, and
That
shit.
would be awesome.
I'd watch the fuck out of that movie.
I can picture that. I ended up watching a bunch of clips of him like wrestling a literal brown bear while screaming in its face.
Yeah.
Ah,
And I'm like, you know what? The balls on this man. He needs to have a wheelbarrow just to walk them down to 7-Eleven.
oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah, I can see
Oh,
Alex
that-
Terrible doing that too. Actually, yeah, Alex Terrible. You win. All right. Producers, get on that. Hopefully somebody speaks Russian. And
An
we get
editor
royalties.
win.
But we get royalties because you got it from us. We'll sue you. Not really.
What the,
But,
I don't know. He
so
doesn't
one
speak
more
for
fran-
NoSkill.
But one more franchise I wanted to talk about. I was supposed to talk about them like 20 minutes ago, but just like NoSkill, we get sidetracked in everything we do.
Mhm.
But I wanted to talk about and get your guys' opinion on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Leatherface and his entire screwed up choppy family.
Hmm.
What
How
about
do we?
it?
What about it?
How do, how do you feel about Texas Chainsaw as a franchise? Because this is the first franchise that I know of that the entire family is screwed up. It's not one notorious killer. Granted, the poster boy is Leatherface.
Most of the time, it depends. Okay, there's different timelines for the Texas Chainsaw continuity.
Yep.
So I am gonna say I very much enjoy all of them because I like that crazy psycho hillbilly horror.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gesturing with my hands for getting them on desktop. Um, yeah, I very much enjoyed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It lets you play with a lot of stuff. It lets you play with the people who are super inbred and hid away from the world and make enemies of the local townsfolk. It lets you play with um, the deeply disturbed family that's all for cannibalism and thinking the rest of the lesser people. And
Mm-hmm.
the one where they break out, where Jed breaks out of the insane.
Yeah.
That movie's fucking twisted. Holy shit! Has anyone seen that one where Bubba's not the main character? He's just Jed's friend from the asylum.
I think so.
Oh my god! So he earns the name Bubba. He's built like a Bubba, and they have a scene done with the most insane practical effects where there's like, you can't escape, it's bulletproof glass, and he grabs the warden's head and he just pulps it like 30 times against the glass, and then grabs the keys and holy shit!
Oh, what's the name of this one again? Is it just Texas Chainsaw?
Yeah, it was
Or
one
did
of the
that?
reboots.
Because
I
the last
only saw
reboot
the
that I saw
first.
was because the last reboot that I saw, Arlie Ermy, also known as Master Sergeant from Full Metal, he was like the town sheriff, and he was helping. I think it was Jessica Biel investigate her friend's murder, and then it turns out he was a part of the family, and he was just as sick and twisted, and he trapped her inside the house.
The one I'm mentioning is Leatherface from 2017.
Oh, so it's just called
17?
Leatherface.
Yeah.
Because I only saw the original one. I haven't seen any other ones. I need to get on that.
Leatherface did not get good reviews. This is how bad it is. 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was a very dark, twisted, super cool movie.
Well, you gotta remember, dude, Rotten Tomatoes, nothing against you people, or everything against you people, is probably the worst critic site because it's the way they critique everything is they didn't do it the way I would have done it, and that's going to be negative remarks towards your score now. Some of the best movies I've seen in the horror and thriller franchise got horrible reviews from Rotten Tomato.
It didn't do good on IMDb either. It got 5 out of 10. And
Well,
I think it
fuck
was because
them
it was
too.
so different. It was trying to be a grounded horror movie. I think it did fantastic effects.
And again, Leatherface, one of the most iconic fictional
Mhm.
killers. Glorified baby throwing a tantrum with a chainsaw.
Yeah, and the Texas Chainsaw 3D, the 2013 one, they really leaned into that because he has no sense of right and wrong, no sense of anything in the world other than eat food, protect the household, protect the family, and that like weird kind of what's the Stockholm syndrome ending where his cousin's like, all right, I guess this is my life now. I keep an eye on Bubba and I make sure the house doesn't burn down, and this is it. This is how I live, and then cut to black. That's a very weird chord twist. I enjoy that one too.
Because I know I, as much as I don't know near amount of lore that you probably do, but uh the different people in this family that are also murderers, like what the cook.
Are you going off of the game?
No, isn't there a movie with Cook?
Yeah, there is. I'm just asking.
Because I immediately once I saw the game, I started doing some Googling. I'm like, I wonder if these are based off of actual characters in the movies. And next thing you know, it's taking me to IMDb to show me that okay, these are actually characters that were a thing in the franchise at one point or another.
Yep, in the early 2000s and 90s.
Yeah. And yeah, watch those.
So then that makes me think, since you're on desktop, how many Texas Chainsaw and Texas Chainsaw-esque movies are there, including Leatherface?
3, 6, 9, 10.
Whoa! Hey, look at that.
Let's
10.
go.
That's a lot of movies I need to catch up on.
I
This is
haven't
it.
actually seen the Netflix original.
There's a Netflix original?
This
Yeah,
what?
2022.
What the fuck?
Mando, I'm gonna log into your Netflix. I'm gonna let you know that one right now. Okay, because I need to watch that.
I know what I'm watching tomorrow.
Hendo just messaged me. I could tell him.
Okay. He needs to log back in anyway because he wants to watch One Piece.
Right, I need to watch that too.
I need to watch One Piece. I need to watch now. That's a Texas Chainsaw movie or a Leatherface movie.
Speaking of One Piece, not bad.
That is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So it's just Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
yeah. So
being that's a
watch that
Netflix
then.
original, I don't have high hopes, but I'll still watch it.
It's
Dude,
got
Netflix. Some Netflix
36%
originals
on IMDb.
Oh, what?
36.
Mmm. Mmm. All
Dude,
right.
some Netflix
Sorry.
originals kind of smack differently. It's
I
just a
mean,
matter of-
some do. Some are just really bad. I'll tell you right now, One Piece is good.
They want to cast Jamie Lee Curtis as the Doctor for season 2.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about season 2 yet. I've seen what Chopper might look like, and I was like, "Oh, cool! He looks a little cute."
Yeah, that mean old lady that Chopper lives with.
Yeah.
They want her to be Jamie Lee Curtis.
Interesting.
I think that'd be fucking great.
That'd be
honestly.
awesome, actually.
I'd get behind that.
Take a sip of water.
Mm-hmm. Take a long sip.
Yeah. Okay. And again, I think Texas Chainsaw is absolutely fucking amazing. I know we were just talking about a live action anime for a second. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel. But yes, Texas Chainsaw. You know what? Movie I haven't seen, but apparently is a really good horror movie, and I feel horrible as a human that I haven't seen it. Fucking Human Centipede. I've heard so much about it, but I've never seen it.
Never caught my attention.
Yeah.
Really?
Me either. I never seen one.
For real?
Yeah.
It
Wow,
feels
you're
like a
not
cheap, low-blowing body horror, but maybe I'm just being a snob.
But for some reason, I still watched Rubber.
Well, hey! Some of those horror movies that are supposed to be just horrible and abhorrent are fucking amazing.
I don't know about this one. This one was I lost 2 hours.
Like I watched Bitch Ass. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is a movie outright called Bitch Ass.
Still need to watch it.
It is fucking hilarious. The storyline makes perfect sense, but they carry it out in the worst oblong ass backwards way possible. But it was an absolute banger because some of those movies are just like the movie is so bad that it's amazing, and that movie fits the bill. That and Cocaine Bear, but with Cocaine Bear, you can definitely tell they were being shitters on purpose.
I don't
feel
even
like when you
consider
sign
that one a
off on
horror movie.
Cocaine Bear. You just throw the rules out the window.
Because
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear, I went back. I'm not gonna lie, I went to the movie theater to watch it 3 separate times. It was that fucking good to me because the entire premise is loosely based off a true story. A bear found cocaine, ingested it, and in your words, was the most dangerous animal on the planet for about 12 hours.
I don't think it was that long.
No, I don't think it was that long. I don't
I'd give him
remember.
a good 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Because
That's
they
a
carried the
lot of
movie out forever. And like at one point, the bear does a line of cocaine off of a severed leg. And then this one cop who was trapped somewhere gives the bear more cocaine to help him get down. So some of those movies that are just absolutely nonsensical to me are amazing. But then again, I love shit that doesn't make sense. I love shit that's cringe.
I think you also have ADHD.
Probably, but you hush.
Just saying.
Okay?
Just throwing it out there.
But I think it is time that we take a short commercial break. We're about halfway through the show, ladies and germs. So we are going to take it away to our partner for this video, Dubby. Take it away. And then 3, 2, 1. Hello. Hello. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for that pretty little ad read. Thank you for watching that pretty little ad read. And once again, thank you to Dubby for hanging out with us. You are beautiful. You are wonderful. And I hope your IQ is in the triple digits. But now, so back to the matter at hand. Horror movies, thriller movies, movies that are supposed to be scary, exciting, over the top, but mainly horrifying. I've been talking a lot about stuff for this podcast, and I want to turn it over to you guys. What outside of the franchises that we've been speaking about, what is either a horror movie or a horror movie franchise that stands out to you that you wouldn't mind discussing? Starting with you, Mean and Green.
Okay. Let's think.
Unless the one that you want to talk about is something we've already listed and you want to go a little bit further, feel free.
No, I'm just thinking. Because I've seen a lot of these dumpster fires.
He wants to talk about Puppet Master.
No, I don't. I would like to on another day, but no, we don't want to do VC. Don't want to do Puppet Master. Definitely don't want to do Leprechaun. We talked about that one to death last time.
Yep.
Okay. This movie did terribly. Absolutely terribly. But I'm a big light gun guy. I'm a big arcade guy and a big horror movie guy. So when they did House of the Dead,
Yep.
and has anybody seen these?
No.
They're awful. I don't blame you. House of the Dead got a straight. The first one probably went to theaters for like 4 days, and the second one went straight to DVD. The premise for the first one is batshit. A bunch of teenagers go to a mysterious island rave hosted by Sega, but it's off the grid and no one really knows where it is. And the island's supposed to be cursed, but nobody believes that except for the smuggler who runs guns and Cuban cigars. Yada yada yada. Rave goes on. Everybody gets eaten by zombies except for the survivors who show up late with the smuggler. They take all the guns and they start hunting down the zombies. A U.S. Marshal shows up and says, "We're here to save everybody. So I'm commandeering all of your guns and all your manpower." And she's like 5'2", tiny little lady. They go to hunt what's creating all the zombies, and it turns out there's a mad pirate Spaniard scientist who's been living there immortally since the 1700s. Go to fight him, and they cut in scenes from the game in the action scene. Like they'll do the Matrix drop back pose and start shooting at people in slow motion bullet time, and then it'll zoom into their FPS perspective and have scenes from the arcade games. The zombies are just getting apart. It is
That's
a
actually kinda
weird.
dope.
It. I love it. There's something 90s kid about me that spazzes out when I watch these movies because they're a fun, turn your brain off good time, but they're shitty horror movies. And they did 2 of them, and the second one's on a college campus, and I think somebody who's kind of famous is in it. I don't remember. These are all numbers. None of these people did well in their career.
Oh. So you're saying that these were like career enders?
This
House
was
of the
the
Dead 2
I
film.
still consider myself an actor. I'm just not famous anymore.
Literally, the most famous person I'm seeing from the second movie cast is Sticky Fingers.
What?
What?
Yeah, Sticky's in it.
Oh, so which House of the Dead movie are you talking about? Because I see two when I type in the
There's
movie.
both. They're both pretty
Because one's
tame.
from 2005 and one's from 1978.
Yeah, I can't believe the 2005 one got made after.
That is such a huge gap in
Mm-hmm.
time. My God.
Yep, Sticky Fingers, Sergeant Dalton.
Oh my god, the first one got a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my Jesus.
It got a 3% and a 2.1 on IMDb.
That reminds me, I gotta see what this movie got because it's considered the worst movie ever fucking created.
What?
Uh,
What?
it's called Monos Hands of Fate.
Never heard of that one.
The movie literally makes absolutely zero sense. It got a 1.6 on IMDb, and then a 1.7 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Essentially, this couple is stranded on an island with this dude called the Master, and he's trying to kill them. And then, like, 1 minute they're running for their lives, kicking and screaming. Literally, pan over one scene, and they're making out in the back seat of a car. And then next, one of them is getting cut wide open.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the movie quite literally made zero sense. And it's considered the worst movie ever created, or at least the worst horror movie ever created. Oh, okay, yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, if you guys want to skip the process of watching these terrible movies, just watch the House of the Dead movie action sequence or fight scene, and you'll see a really cool cinematic fight scene. One has their specialty guns, and they're shooting up zombies, and then it cuts away, and you hear the iconic zombie screams from the game as they get lit up in real time.
And that's the 2005 one?
The 98.
Oh,
The
1998?
2005 one, I think, does that bit. I don't know off the top of my head. I saw the 2005 one I didn't know existed. Fraser's grandma actually rented it for us when we crashed at her place one time because she's like, yeah, they're teenage boys. Nothing you could show them at a fucking Blockbuster is going to terrify them. They'll be all right. She just rented us whatever we wanted. And she was right. We were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really think of a movie franchise or a fictional killer that made me actually scared. Because at the end of the day, you know it's just a movie.
Nah, It the Clown fucked me up for like a solid 6 years.
Really?
Really?
I love clowns. I love Psycho Circus shit. It's such a like core part of my entertainment. But when I was a kid, man, it fucked me up. I don't know if it was because it was like the hopelessness portrayed when he's like terrorizing these kids and the adults all just seem blind to it. I don't know if it was because in the town I was like watching it in was very behind the times and it looked like it was straight out of that fucking movie. I don't know, man. Something about it. Pennywise just fucked my shit up when I was a kid.
I think because especially when I watched it, I knew in advance this isn't realistic. A clown can't turn into a spider. But then also, I very early on became a huge Tim Curry fan because he voices Nigel, the dad, in Wild Thornberries, and I'm like, I know you. I know you very well. You should be chasing a wombat right now. So I think that's why
Hmm.
I couldn't really get scared of Mr. Half Clown, Half Spider when I was already a fan of what you do outside of being half clown, half spider. Make any sense?
I Yeah, the thought process is so strange to me.
You what?
Your thought process is so strange to me.
Yeah, I have a weird way of thinking, and I wear that on my sleeve. Hence why I'm an enigma. I'm a weird individual, and I love it. So then, swiveling over in my chair, what's one horror franchise you are a huge fan of that we might or might not have mentioned already?
Well, really, I'm just gonna go off of the one franchise that actually did scare me to a point where it fucked me up for days. I was like 10 when I first saw this. It was Silent Hill.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know, something about it just really just fucked me up. I remember walking into the room. My parents were watching in the living room. I just walked into the room, and they were watching. I just see the girl on this rusty ass table with all these rusty ass barbed wire and chains and flying around, and there's blood and all kinds of shit. And it's like, I'm going back to my room. I'm gonna be terrified under my sheets for like the next 2 days.
I'm gonna go recreate this on my Etch-a-Sketch now.
Okay. I get it though. Silent Hill movies are fucking scary. I know a lot of people shit on because they're not accurate to the game and shut the fuck up. Those
You
movies
gotta
are
remember the
very
movie was based off of the game.
Huh?
You gotta remember the movie was made based off of the game. The game came first.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I said.
and trust me, the
That's
games are also fucking terrifying. But
I got weirded out by the sound effects that those nurses would make when they start walking towards you.
I think it was with me, like at least the first 3. Not only was just the ambience of the games like really creepy, especially when you're walking down hallways and stuff. It's the music, the ambience of it is not creepy. Then all of a sudden you start hearing shit before you see it, like the nurses, or all of a sudden you hear the dragging of a big blade from Pyramid Head.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Silent Hill is the golden standard of setting ambience and setting atmosphere. You can hear the floors creaking and slopping beneath you. You can hear enemies dripping off of themselves as they get closer.
I love the premise of it, though.
Oh, it's so
A
good.
town that gets shrouded in fog, and all of a sudden you're in like this demon dimension where there's like a bunch of monsters just trying to kill you. That are just there because they're part of that town. It's like a cursed town.
And everything means something in the town. Every creature is based off of some kind of horrible abstract human behavior or trauma. So the more you read into it, the worse it fucking gets.
Yeah. Because I love that series so much, I started looking up lore and shit like that, especially because it was on the time where I was playing the games to beat them. And I was like, okay, I beat 1, but I didn't really understand a lot of what happened. Let me look up like something just to understand it better. And I was like, okay, I wish I didn't, because this is fucking me up now.
We've learned too much. How do we go back?
Too much.
God, I totally forgot about Silent Hill. I really gotta play those games again. Actually, speaking of remasters, I would love if Silent Hill got a remaster.
Not in the real sense. I honestly don't know if I trust game devs now to remaster them. I'd like just make it look pretty. That's all I would want.
That's what I mean is make it look pretty and not do the remaster like they did San Andreas. And that was abhorrent. But because I know we were supposed to get that Silent Hills with Norman Reedus, and then Kojima got fired from Sony, I think, and so he pulled the entire. Oh, was it Konami or Kojima? Because I know Hideo was heading it. Because as soon as one of those two left, he pulled the entire project and said, "Fuck it."
I don't know the whole thing. All I know is that someone got fired, and now the creator of Metal Gear Solid is not working on Metal Gear Solid anymore.
But I wouldn't mind having a remastered Silent Hills game to play through that horror map again. Like something as simple as playing through Resident Evil 4 was sick. It was so sick to see what they could do with the game that already exists, but now put a more modern look to it. I think if you gave it had to be a game developer that would know what they're doing with a horror game. But if you let them go absolutely apeshit and make this game look as sick and twisted as it was like destined to be, you could have something fucking gnarly here.
Yeah, I mean, and as much as people don't, I mean, they give their Silent Hill movies crap about not being totally accurate to like the game. I still think they were done well for what they were trying to do.
I agree, dude. I think they did incredibly.
Yeah, they did great.
A lot of people don't. I'm sorry. A lot of people don't take into the fact that there's 7 Silent Hill games.
Yeah.
And we have 3 movies. There's no way you could fit that much story and lore.
No.
It's just not possible. So for what they were given, the time frame they were given, I think they're fantastic. Those movies are twisted, they're visually striking, and they are fucking scary.
As they should be. I mean, shit, it's fucking Silent Hill. You gotta be twisted.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, when I went with Frazier to go see one of the newer ones. And when the lobotomy monster rips that chick's head off and then adds it to its own body, I felt so bad. Every woman in that theater, literally death grip, and you could just hear everybody. What the fuck did our stupid boyfriend bring us to? Like, sorry.
Sorry, love you really. Don't break up with me.
Man, now we're bringing up like all these movies, and I'm like making a mental list of shit I need to look up and try to find. If not on any streaming service, might as well go to Amazon and probably rent, because that's how everything else is going nowadays.
If it's not an exclusive on Amazon or HBO, I just rent it on Xbox.
I just
Or
go.
depending on what it is, I'll
I
buy the
just
fucking movie.
I just rent it off of Amazon Video. And it's cheaper that way. I don't buy it. I just rent it.
It depends on the movie that if I might keep it, because like some movies I'll rent and then I'll regret just not buying it because I thought the movie was actually really good. Like one of the movies, it's not technically, well, it's a mixture of horror slash thriller. It's this movie called Ready or Not, and
Sounds familiar.
basic premise is woman is about to be wed to a family. This family is has a legacy of creating board games, and then their tradition before somebody gets married is they have to play a glorified game of hide and seek. The girl has to go hide, and she has to remain hidden and not be found until morning time. Little does she know that if they were to find her, they plan on killing her, killing the bride.
Oh, okay. Now I remember now.
Yeah, they plan on murdering her ace. Because they are in a cult and they think that that's what they have to do to keep their success alive. We're successful because we kill people.
It is. They're cursed. It's like a ritualistic thing.
Yeah.
If you cannot survive a game of hide and seek, you will not be successful.
Spoiler alert, she lays some of those people the fuck out.
What?
Yeah.
I said spoiler alert, she lays some of those people the fuck out.
Fuck out. But if we find you during this game of hide and seek, we will send your body down the river Styx.
She sent their ass to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, actually, technically, I don't know anything about this franchise, but you probably do. So I need you to acknowledge me. And this goes back to the whole thriller slash horror realm, but Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, yes.
I was just shitposting about that movie yesterday.
Yes.
So that I want to hear, like, whoever wants to take the mantle on this one, give me a brief synopsis of Jeepers Creepers. As a man that's never seen it, roast me in the comment section if you'd like to suck my proverbial dick. Anyway, who wants to start?
Seasland, roast him in the comment section. All right. The long and short of it is, it's a mysterious creature that nobody knows the exact rules. They just know every 23 years or 23 days it gets to feast one time, and it hunts, and it likes to toy with people, and it feeds on fear. My best guess, based on the clues and everything provided, is some kind of old pagan deity that has domain crops. And that's why it likes to hunt there, and that's why it likes to what's the phrase I'm looking for? Make its home there, nest, I guess. the whole thing is it's this unkillable, over the top creature that likes to take its time toying with its victims, and it does a very good job at building horror. The longer you go in the series, ridiculous the movie gets. Like it surviving a minigun, like full unsuppressed minigun for like a minute and a half. You just walk it off. It's got magical super weapons. The car is sentient. It has traps. It's a wild trip of a movie.
Yeah,
Hard.
I've only seen up to second one, and the ending of the second one fucked me up. This scene, I think it was the one with the boyfriend's like, "Take me, not her," and he takes the boyfriend, and you just see him, just his skin just put on display, and you hear just him screaming in the background like he's skinned alive. He's still alive. He's screaming in the background. You don't see him, but that's the end.
That sounds gnarly.
I enjoy those movies. They're fucked up and they're weird. They're good, man. It's a very good old monster horror movie chase that you don't see a lot of.
Yeah, and the first one is pretty simple in its set design. Most of the movie takes place in like middle of the road, in the fields, on a bus.
Oh shit!
That's most of the movie.
So, Brandon, since you've seen it, where he's on the window. Sorry if you guys hear a car alarm. One of my neighbors being irritating. Where they're on the bus and everyone's lined up, and he's telling everyone to get out of the way when he just calls out that one dude all the way in the back. That sets a great tone for the fucking.
Yeah.
Said you.
You.
I got my eye on you, bitch.
Like.
Oh.
Oh man.
Because Jeepers Creepers is a movie that I've always been interested in, but I haven't seen, and for no particular reason other than I get so caught up in watching personally like every other horror movie in existence. Which is actually this reminds me. So I'm gonna double back and talk about how how I mentioned like horror movies don't exactly like scare me because I know in advance that they're not real. My touch controller is low. Wow. Ladies and germs, I'm honored to say that after 9 months, my controller is low. You know the last time this happened?
9 months ago?
When we did the elevator video. If you haven't seen that,
yeah.
go and watch it.
Been a minute.
Please. This is a commemorative moment. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here and sharing this moment with me. So if my hand goes numb, I'm sorry. But so I'm gonna double back and say, like, there is one horror movie that fucked me up and has fucked me up still to this day. And that will be Arachnophobia.
Really? I thought Eight-Legged Freaks was worse.
No, Eight-Legged Freaks isn't realistic. Spiders can't be bigger than me.
Yeah, they can.
No.
Did I just burst your bubble, DJ?
No.
You bursted mine.
Because
Bro,
listen,
I actually do have a
if we ever-
slight case of arachnophobia. Don't do this to me.
That's why we need to play
Everybody
that.
catches strays.
This is why we need to play that game, Earth Defense Force, so that way we can like learn how to prepare for this when like ultimately they do take over. But arachnophobia fucked me up because I'm not a spiderologist, and never will I ever will be a spiderologist. Because I don't know which ones are venomous and which ones aren't. The only ones I know of definitively are a daddy long legs and a black widow, and that's because it's solid black with a little red thing on the back. And if I see that, it dies immediately.
Yeah, that one's easy to figure out.
Yeah.
And my mindset is, if you're outside of my house, cool, that's cool, whatever, you're cooling and chilling. But if I find you in my house and you ain't paying rent, just saying, you might not be around too much longer.
I'm just saying, if it's anything but a daddy long legs, you're dead. The last week there was a huge ass fucking spider. I would say is like about this long. big motherfucker. I grabbed the nearest can of poison and I drenched the motherfucker. I drowned him in poison. There was a puddle of poison on the kitchen counter when I was done. He died. I made sure of that.
Gave him a bath.
I gave him a bath. When I say I have a slight case of arachnophobia, anything bigger than a daddy long legs, I'm either running or killing you on sight.
I want to send you guys a video. So
No.
I'm down to watch it because as long as it's not in my house, I have no reason to worry. So that's why I guess that would be the extent of arachnophobia fucked me up. Of like now I just don't trust spiders.
fair.
Oh no,
I
even
feel like if there's
videos
one thing in
disturb me.
life, if there's one thing in life you can get away with not trusting, snakes and spiders, probably pretty fair choice.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean-
I have my reasons for not trusting snakes. One almost killed me.
See,
The snakes depends on the snake for me. But I at least know which ones are poisonous. I have done research on that type of stuff. But when it comes to spiders, I mean, shit. My fucking boyfriend has tarantulas as pets. I don't
oh my god,
I don't go in his house.
that is great.
I don't go in his house or anywhere near those
Actually-
things.
Actually, tarantulas are the only one that I'm okay with because they're the ones that will do anything to not bite you at all. Because they are the epitome of I am so afraid of you.
So stop touching me, god damn it!
They
and
can
run.
be, you little pissed motherfuckers.
Yep.
Go anywhere
They just
near
don't
them,
piss
they
them
will
off.
get aggressive.
You know, I just realized we're getting off topic here, but now that gives me an idea for another podcast in the future, like a feats and phobias.
No.
I'm
Feel-
pretty neutral, man. I don't got any one thing
From the
between
most common fears from spiders to the most uncommon and weird, like tryptophobia, the fear of a cluster of circles.
Oh no,
Oh.
porosity substances, and that dude, you can set Siegeland off so hard. He does not play around.
That and body horror.
Yep.
Yeah, feats, fear, and phobias. Because trust me, I can reflect on a couple of Maury Povich episodes where they were showcasing people's fears. One woman was afraid of cotton balls.
Cotton balls.
So the
Yeah.
cotton balls and the olive lady, I'll never get.
Hmm.
They look like eyes, but I have eyes. Fuck you, Maury.
Fuck you, Maury.
She was, dude. I gotta find that footage. She did not like olives, man. It was a violence reaction. Age truly.
Well, we're getting back on topic before my left hand goes numb because I'm probably gonna have to go find batteries here any moment. So if we have to take a break in the video, it's because I wanted my left arm to start working for you people, okay? But one of the we mentioned him earlier, Rob Zombie, fantastic musician. Recently saw him live with Alice Cooper. It was sick. But also a director. Has created some masterpieces in his own right, and I want to talk about some of them, namely starting with House of a Thousand Corpses. I'm assuming we have seen House of a Thousand Corpses.
Why don't you take this chicken so I ain't gotta put my foot in your ass? Does that answer your question?
I will say I have not seen this one.
Oh, okay. I'll say this much. Think like Texas Chainsaw, where it's a family of weirdos that murder people for sport.
Fair enough.
Aren't they called the Fireflies or something like that?
Yeah, first and foremost, I must say, rest in peace, Sid Haig, a.k.a. Captain Spaulding. You will live on in our memories forever as probably one of the most prolific and iconic and charismatic antagonists in any horror movie franchise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man had a way with words. Man knew how to talk to people. Man knew how to come off as the craziest but most intellectual and linguistically pleasing sounding individuals of this day and era.
that he had this amazing range where he could flip, where he would be incredibly charismatic and talking you into something real sweet. And then, did you hear me stutter, bitch? I said, get out of the car.
I, I can I can influence you to follow me, and then I'm going to insult you egregiously.
I still love when he gets in the car and the kid's in there. Don't you like clowns? Yeah? Good. Get out of the car. Be a good little boy. Just go.
Like,
Aren't we
this dude's a
so
serial
fucking
killer, and you're
funny?
inconveniencing him by not getting out of his car. Like, come on, let's go. Hurry
Today.
the fuck up. I have a waterboarding session at 2.
Rob Zombie is a fantastic director. I get why he catches a lot of shit for his films, but man, I love that psycho hillbilly shit.
Because well, I don't want to say that's who he is. He's a man that's a super fan of the horror franchise. Hence why he's next to Alice Cooper, the master of horror, and fitting title for this franchise. They called the not franchise for this tour. They called it the Freak Show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very fitting. I just got the second warning saying I need to replace my right hand now.
Nice.
Oh my god. Okay. Whew. Well, that was fun. Oh. Hey, gamer. Still can't clutch up in Warzone? Still no victory royales? Still maidenless? It's time to change how you play, son. Drink Dubby, the delicious gaming energy supplement that'll help you achieve that epic play of the game. Now head on over to w.gg and use our code NSE for 10% off your total order. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Hi, everybody. I am so sorry about that delay. I had to get my hands working because I wanted to at least wave goodbye to you guys when the podcast ends, which we're not ending just yet. We're still having a good time talking about horror and action, well, not action, but thriller movies. Memory serves, we were just talking about House of a Thousand Corpses and the legacy that is Captain Spaulding.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, rest in peace, Sid Haig. You will always be missed and always remembered in the genre of that is known as horror. But no, so again, another movie that I haven't seen, but directed by Rob Zombie. Maybe you've seen it, but Three from Hell. Did you watch that?
Only part of the series I'm missing. My uncle lent it to me a few days ago. I'm going to watch it soon.
Same. I still have to watch it. You scream at us in the comment section if you'd like to. Brandon, have you seen Three from Hell?
No, I have not.
Okay. So then we're gonna move forward.
I'm not
One
very well
franchise-
versed in Rob Zombie, sadly.
You need to watch House of a Thousand Corpses at least because it is such a good movie because it's the mixture of it's funny, it's scary, it's sadistic, but it's also not like too over the top. Like it's gruesome, but not
All right.
Where'd the budget go for the blood?
Yeah. I'll give it. I mean, that's just another addition to the list. I need to start watching Rob Zombie.
Yeah, his rendition of Halloween, amazing. House of a Thousand Corpses, amazing. His one animated movie, El Super Beasto, amazing. Because he made a cartoon.
A lot of people didn't like Devil's Rejects. I very much enjoyed that one.
Oh yeah, Devil's Rejects was fucking gnarly. I think I watched Devil's Rejects before I watched House of a Thousand Corpses.
Slightly out of order,
Yep, just a little bit.
but it does a good job of showing things from the villain's perspective. You always have to wonder how they stay one step ahead and how they travel from town to town without being noticed. Especially when one is painted like a fucking clown.
Fucking Captain Spaulding. Dude. Sid Haig's passing was that one hurt. That one hurt a lot of people in the horror genre, in the fandom. But moving forward, one franchise I'm surprised we haven't spoken about yet, even though we were talking about good franchises. We also talked about franchises that are kicking a dead goddamn horse. But the franchise known as Scream.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yes. Again, a prolific and very iconic fictional killer, Ghostface Killer. Or just Ghostface. I forgot Ghostface Killer is a rapper. Sorry for
Wu-Tang!
Wu-Tang!
He got beef, bring the ruckus.
Don't forget, kids, protect your neck.
But so Scream and the birth of Ghostface, and I can honestly say it was a good franchise up until they. When would you say they should have stopped? I say after Scream 3.
After the first one, I'm not a fan of Scream. You have the wrong brother.
Really?
My
Yeah,
brother is a diehard, and he knows everything about it. I don't like Scream. I don't like the movies.
yeah. I remember from previous conversations, I was like, well, we're bringing up Scream. I already know Mikey's opinion. But I know Adrian's the one we would want for this. But
Mm-hmm.
I would probably have to agree with you, Deej. After 3, and they should have just stopped.
Because you had such a very good premise, and granted, the one thing that I loved about Scream was the birth of I won't say that's where it started, but the parody movies of parodying horror movies. His Scary Movie came out just swinging and making fun of
Ghostface
every.
in Scary Movie is a better character than Ghostface in Scream. I'll say that right now.
Yeah,
Damn. I mean, I
This
will
is
say
a
one
very-
thing. Scary Movie kind of ruined my perspective of the original Scream movie, because now when I think about the characters and the setting, I'm just like, I only remember is the Scary Movie version, because that was just so entertaining.
Right? It's so you can't see that face and not hear the "What's up?"
What's
part,
that?
or when he's freestyle rapping and it kills everybody. From the last guy, damn son, that's tight.
I can't just, every time I see the reporter, I just think of the Scary Movie one. And I'm like, that Scary Movie ruined Scream. At least the first one for me. I can't unrelate the two now.
Oh my fucking god! That's I guess that's the one blessing wrapped in a curse of like your movie was so prolific that companies decided to make a parody about it, like encompassing not just Scream, but like a bunch of horror movies or horror movie aspects, uh, and just shit on it. But because they shit on it so well, that now a lot of people will associate Scream with Scary Movie. Hell, I'm not gonna lie to you. For a period, there was a period of time when stupid ignorant DJ, when he was a young lad, um, thought Scary Movie was Scream. So I was calling Scream Scary Movie.
I mean, shit.
So
Just the in Scary Movie, just the part with we were talking about the whole introducing horror movie like tropes and aspects into that. Just reminds me of the reporter going to some location where kids will go out on like a cliffside at night and make out, like a make out hill or whatever type thing. And
Make out porn.
of course, the killer comes and kills them. And he's like, "Get the camera out of my face! I'm trying to do my job. You're just getting in my way or some shit. I will fucking kill you too." I'm just like, I just can't unrelate that movie and Scream. I just can't.
And it's understandable. And again, I think after Scream 3, it's like, okay, just put the camera down and lay it to rest. Because now you're doing too much. Like I get it with the more recent movies. They were like, we're gonna bring back the original cast. Okay, you brought back the original cast, and your movie was still. And this is just our personal opinion. We are not professional critics. We do not work for IMDb or Metacritic or Rotten Tomato. But to me, that movie was still mid at best.
Although I think I don't forget which one. Is it Scream 2 or 3? One of them had a banging soundtrack.
I think it was 3.
It was like so many metal like songs on that between like Slipknot, System of a Down, all these huge metal bands. I'm like, this soundtrack's sick.
Yeah, I think it was 3 if memory serves. And dude, that's why I wish there was another like horror movie that had a banger soundtrack. Because the last one outside of Scream that I know of was Freddy versus Jason.
That one
Oh
was
yeah,
good
that
too.
soundtrack was
Yeah.
fucking hard.
Dude, it's because of that movie Freddy versus Jason that I discovered Spine Shank. That song, beginning of the end. Well, I was like, this song goes fucking stupid. Wait a minute, let me find out.
I heard your chair creaking with
Yeah,
that.
sorry about that.
Yeah. But yeah, scary movies don't have crazy soundtracks like that anymore. But of course, it would have to kind of fit the movie. Like the soundtrack for Scream made sense because it was in a modern setting, all this Hollywood actor stuff. But I don't know. It. I don't know. They're not done right, or they're not done enough.
That's what I'm trying to think of, like another movie that had, like another horror movie or scary-esque movie that had a banging soundtrack. Because again, I know the realm and genre of horror. What? He's
Oh,
cooking.
I burped.
Oh, okay, that was a banging soundtrack. But because I know there's a lot more movies that are out there in the realm of horror that we could discuss and we didn't bring up because we wouldn't have had time. We would have been up here for 2 hours just listing off movies. Because like we could have talked about Leprechaun, we could have talked about the franchise known as I Know What You Did Last Summer. We could have talked
Hmm.
about Tucker and Dale Are Evil.
I mean, if we're still on the topic of OSTs, anything by John Carpenter, specifically Ghost of Mars, is my favorite. John Carpenter's soundtracks go fucking hard.
Really?
Really?
Do you guys not know any John Carpenter films?
No.
I don't think so. Well, besides
Well,
the
not
thing.
by like name. I probably maybe seen one. I'm not familiar with John Carpenter.
I want to strike you.
Oh, just about to say he wants to hit somebody now.
Go ahead.
All right.
Nothing new
I'm gonna
there.
name a couple of them. This one, obviously, Ghost of Mars. Just listed that one. Vampires. Have you heard of that one?
There's a lot of movies named that.
Village of the Damned.
Know that one?
Classic. Christine.
Yes.
Yep.
The Fog.
Yes.
Yes.
The Thing.
Yes.
Yep.
And this one you guys should all be familiar with. The First Halloween.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Other than the first one, Ghost of
Oh.
Mars, I knew all those ones and seen them.
Really? You haven't seen Ghost of Mars? Oh my
No.
god, it's so terrible.
It's
It's one of Ice Cube's breakouts into Hollywood.
It's so terrible.
Okay, so here's the premise. Mars has been terraformed, but only in certain sections. And Ice Cube's a death row inmate with his gang that are being... Or no, he's not with his
Ice
gang.
Cube's in it? Oh, and I gotta
Yeah.
see it now. I
And
gotta
he's
see
being
it.
transported to another place on Mars. And in the middle of this high-stakes prison transfer, where his gang was going to break him out, but archaeologists untombed a fucking structure that let out red mist, and it infects people, and they're like ghosts, and they turn them into cannibal demon monsters. So now him and the cops and the gang are fighting off all the monsters trying to save everybody, and they set off a nuke. It's batshit. It's so fucking wild.
Okay, yeah, I need to see this movie now.
It's fucking great. Oh my god, it's so good.
God,
It's
amazing.
terrible. It's got a 24% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I love it.
Dude, it's amazing how like when some of these movies want to bring on somebody. What the fuck was that? Okay. Want to bring on somebody that's like considered a meme, or you wouldn't expect them in like a horror movie. Like,
Oh my god, it's got a young Jason Statham. I completely forgot about that.
What?
It's got baby Jason Statham
Oh
on there. He
my
looks so
god.
happy.
He looks happy?
and then he did the transporter, and it all went downhill.
He's still relevant. I just mean his career right now.
No, I'm saying that
Is
happiness left. Now he's just left with a scowl.
now I have to do movies with The Rock.
He's just like, oh, I swear to God, if they make me do Crank 3.
Oh
Oh
God,
my god.
Crank was such a weird fucking movie, dude, and I loved every single minute of it.
I love the first one. The second one was batshit.
And that's what I loved about it is they said, all right, we didn't go batshit enough. Time to put our whole ass into it. If it
They had a
doesn't make sense,
kaiju
rip
fight
it.
scene.
The what?
They had a kaiju fight scene.
Yeah, they had him fuck some bitch on a fucking horse racing track.
I was gonna bring that up.
Oh,
Yeah.
because he has to keep his heart stimulated.
I will say though, the latest two movies I've seen him in, the both Megs, he's not bad.
I have to watch the second Meg. I really do.
It's not bad. I think the first one was better, but this one was definitely crazy.
Yeah, now there's two of them. I bought it, so I'll probably watch it tonight. Or I'll watch A House of a Thousand Corpses because now I really want to watch that again. I need to relive that moment. But we're getting close to closing out. One of the other movies that I wanted to bring up, somebody who's breaking out fairly well in the last 5 years in the directing of thriller / horror movie scene, but Jordan Peele's Us and Get Out.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So I have not seen any of these.
Okay.
But I've heard reviews like back and forth. Oh, I am not in my chair.
Whoa!
So
He's so
reviews
involved that he stood up.
reviews are like back and forth. I don't know what to believe. I still need to see them so I can form an opinion of myself. But with reviews I've seen, it's so back and forth between terrible and good.
I'll say this much. I'm not gonna go into like the politics behind it, but there's definitely you'll definitely get the vibe that there's a motive / narrative
Oh,
kind of
that is
being
another
pushed.
thing I heard. There's a lot of politics involved.
Well, they turned it into a political thing, but you'll definitely see like there's a bit of an agenda that's trying to be pushed, but the story itself is between Us and Get Out is actually really really decent. This is coming from a guy that uh all I see you as is the guy from Mad TV. Like you're just a comedian dude from Mad TV, and now you're just wanting to break into the horror genre. I was very skeptical going into Us and Get Out, and I was thoroughly surprised.
Like, all I knew him from is Key and Peele, of course. That's where most people would know them, or Mad TV. But, like,
Mm.
I definitely did not expect horror. When I heard that he was going into horror movies, I'm like, that was unexpected.
Mm-hmm. And he has an actual horror movie out. He did his own rendition of another very famous killer. He did his own version of Candyman.
Oh, yeah. Candyman.
And Candyman was actually really good. So Jordan,
Interesting.
keep it up. But if you're wanting to watch a movie that's gonna like fuck with your mind, I honestly recommend either Us or Get Out because it is once the story starts unfolding, it's the epitome of you won't know what's going on until the movie's at least halfway done.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know that one line in Get Out. Oh, we don't go down there. There's black mold in the basement. That one was so tongue in cheek right there.
Oh, okay.
Tell me that wasn't good.
Oh no, it was great. Then during Us, for those that know the scene, the way that lady talks, you won't be able to take it seriously. But the movie itself, the premise is still very good. It's a very twisted movie, and it's still very good and very well done. And then Candyman, you just need to go and watch Candyman for yourself because it's Candyman.
Is it better than original?
Oh hell no! But
Okay.
for a Jordan Peele rendition, it's mint.
Mint.
And then there was another movie. Speaking of that I wanted to bring up, but I totally forgot. I think you saw it. Somebody in our crew saw it. The Talk to Me movie, the movie that Raka Raka made.
I have not seen it yet. I've been trying to. Everyone's saying good about it.
I forgot they made a movie.
Yeah.
Talk
But
to me.
if we can find a way to stream Microsoft movies on Discord, I will. I will stream it because I have them. Like I have it. Like I had the movie bought because I knew I'm like, I'm a huge fan of Raka Raka. I love their YouTube channel, and if they can go over the top for a fucking 5-minute YouTube video, I can't even imagine what they did with a full cinematography team and a budget that went, "We'll sign when you're done."
I still love when he told Swagger, "It's like, hey, what are you doing lately? Oh, we're making a movie. What? Yeah, it's probably gonna suck dick. I wouldn't read too much into it."
No.
Fucking destroys box office opening weekend.
Completely obliterated. Who'd have thought two Australian twins could break the box office all from their their reputation of being over the top?
Oh, dude, that's so funny to me. I love that. I want to see it.
Yeah, me
Looks wild.
too.
Again, if we can find a way, if I can find a way to stream movies into Discord, even if it's just like broadcasting, I have all of them.
I
Not like
mean,
a
we
bunch,
can
a bunch of movies.
try. I know a way. I was able to stream Netflix. Well, we'll see. Some
Then
websites
other
are a
than
little
movies,
weird.
and then one other movie that I highly recommend, just because it's technically a horror movie, but it's also a comedy at the same time. You guys, because I recently watched it a couple weeks ago, you have to watch The Blackening.
What, the blackening?
It is so good. It's basically it's a horror movie about a bunch of black people taking every single stereotypical horror movie trope and pissing on it. They are actively making fun of the movie, but ultimately there is a storyline being played too.
All right.
For something simple as this door is locked. Common sense says we shouldn't open it. We're gonna open it. But yeah,
Okay.
it is
Dude,
such a good.
I gotta sound scary. Come on out. Nope, that's too much DMX. Nope, dial it back.
Oh my god.
I know exactly what movie you're talking about, bud. Oh, and then when that one guy drops who he voted for.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't make that joke on this podcast.
Oh my god. And it's one of those murder mystery things of like, think like the game Clue. You won't know who the culprit is until the very end. So I highly recommend The Blackening. And for all of you out there, I recommend The Blackening as well. Even though I haven't seen it yet, I also recommend Talk to Me because it's made by two very good YouTubers that you're familiar with, who Raka Raka are. The entire movie's made by them, so go check it out. Ran it for like $2 or $3 off of Amazon or Microsoft. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it is time. I believe it is that time. I believe it is outro time. We made it to the end of this very spooky episode of the No Skill Podcast. In classic fashion, actually, before we actually do that, before I send it down the line, I want to get y'all's opinion on something, because this one I'm actually pretty interested in. I'll leave it up to you, whether a game or an old movie franchise. Which game or would you want to see have a horror movie adaptation made? Or if not that, which old horror movie franchise would you want to see have a reboot? And who would you cast for their main role of antagonist and protagonist and or? So
I would love to see Carneal get a live action adaptation with Christoph Waltz playing Ludwig von Token. Oh
yes.
my god, that would be so much fun.
Dude, Carnival getting a live adaptation. Oh my lord. You know that shit's gonna be fucking crazy. Anything carnival related is nuts.
Oh yeah. Get like some young, spunky 20-something actor that's doing good right now. Them the lead and our protagonist, and
Oh
then
yeah.
Christoph Waltz is the lead antagonist. Is Von Token Taker? Tell me that wouldn't be amazing.
That would actually be pretty fucking sick.
Ugh.
Shuddering. Because Carnival, dude. Carnival was just fucking fantastic. It's a fantastic game. If you guys haven't played Carnival, if you can find a Carnival cabinet, recommended. It is it's pretty tight.
Well, you can get a emulator with the Send and Light gun. You get almost factory spec. It's very nice.
And worst case scenarios, if you can't do any of that, just look up a Carnival speed run on YouTube. I there's one guy that I watch do it once every, I'd say, 6 months, just because you get that itch every now and again to watch like a cabinet or to play a cabinet.
I mean, I got a whole mini campaign right. So yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay, so then you, Mr. Mans, if there's a game that you'd want to have, like a horror game or scary game that you want to have a live adaptation, or if there's an old franchise that you'd want to make a comeback.
Mikey, you would know this.
Hmm?
Is there a live action, like horrible, like live action Dead Space movie?
Live action, no. There is an anime, and it's
I was
actually
I was gonna say I would love to see Dead Space done live action by a studio that knows what they're doing with horror movies.
Uwe Boll picked up the rights a while ago, and he hyped it up, and he hyped it up, and he hyped it up, and it went fucking. So I think I hate to be that guy. I would give it to. Oh man, I want to say Bloomhouse Productions would probably be my pick for it.
Yeah, just some studio that knows what they're doing with horror movies and would be fans of it, because if they're not fans of the series, it's not gonna do well. That's just the rule. And I have no idea who I'd probably just say hire the guy that they did the likeness for in the Dead Space remake for Isaac Clarke. Just hire the same guy that they did the likeness and the voice with.
Okay.
I'd argue Jason Statham could probably do it halfway decent.
You really
Isaac
did?
Clarke.
You think so?
I think so. He could do the physically demanding stunts. He's very grizzled. I think he'd be okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I wouldn't mind that, actually. I like that idea. But yeah, Dead Space. I would love to see a movie of that.
That would actually be really tight. And then for me, if I could pick a game that I would love to have a scary / horror / gruesome movie adaptation of it, I'd actually want to see a Back for Blood. Just because of how intense the game was, I can picture like you have like 4 people just trying to escape the city, and it's just an onslaught of special enemies trying to kill them.
I think for that, you would probably have to have the same people that did the World War Z movie.
Yeah,
Because
but not with Matt Damon.
But now with Matt Damon.
Now Matt Damon.
I would go with Vin Diesel, Jason Statham, Danny Trejo, and who would be a good female lead?
I'm just gonna
I
say
had the
this
girl
just
from-
because it's personal preference, but I don't know. She might be a little too old now for this, but Mila Jovovich.
I was just about
I
to say
think
Mila
Ruby
Djokovic, the girl
Rose-
from Resident Evil. That
What
was
was-
Mila Djokovic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 What did you say, Mikey?
I think Ruby Rose would do a decent job.
Ooh, Ruby Rose is also a
Ah.
good shout.
Just saying.
'Cause she also
She
plays
held her
Rose.
own in John Wick. She was
That
a
is
bad
very true.
motherfucker in John Wick.
That is very true.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have them duke it out, and then whoever wins gets to be the female lead. Who's your money on, Ruby Rose or Mila?
Considering the age difference, Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, Mila, looks like you have to stand down. The female lead is going to be taken by Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose, round of applause. Yes. Good. Congratulations. Yeah. That's what I would do, because again, zombies, anything, and we've played Back for Blood, and that game is fucking hard. And I think it would be sick if they did a movie adaptation of that, of like Jason Statham roundhouse kicking, insert enemy here, Danny Trejo taking out his signature machete and cutting people down. Vin Diesel just punching whatever the fuck and saying, "You're not touching my family." And then Ruby Rose being a fucking badass and kicking everything.
You know who might actually be a good director for that?
Who?
I know he catches hell nowadays, but for everybody who remembers, Zack Snyder directed Dawn of the Dead in 2000. Fucking love that.
Oh.
As soon as you said, I know he catches hell now. I'm like, don't you dare say Shyamalan.
No,
No.
The thing about it, it was a very gritty, very grounded, very realistic horror movie that, for its day, was pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah. Again, another movie that very early on in its life, one of its successors was a parody of it, Shaun of the Dead.
Okay, the Cornetto trilogy could stand on its own too. Like those movies are so goddamn funny.
I still need to watch it.
Oh, dude, Dawn of the Dead and Shaun of the Dead. They're both old. They're both old, but they're both good. Also, watch Scooby Doo and Scooby Doo and the Mystery Island movie.
Oh my god! Yeah, I already seen that, and I've already seen Dawn of the Dead. I just haven't seen Shaun of the Dead.
It's so goddamn funny. It's 2000s humor, so some of it might escape you, but it is
Dude, trust me,
fucking
2000s
hilarious.
humor, I love.
Yeah,
Sorry, ignore me. Pokemon's releasing a ceramic pumpkin that's Snorlax's head.
All right.
Jesus. But yes,
What?
No, nothing. I think that's awesome.
yes, ladies and germs, we are now at the conclusion of this episode of the No Skill Podcast. Sorry for the little bit of derailment, but it was just a thought that I had, and I really wanted to express it before we take another 6 months to make another episode of something similar to this. Hi, bear with me. But as per usual and in classic fashion, we're going to take it down the line to get some final closing thoughts and statements, arguments, questions, comments, concerns from the boys, starting with you, Mean and Green.
I'm sorry. Can I get that question again? I'm ordering a Snorlax eating out of a cake.
He's getting.
You thought I'm kidding? Pokemon drops official Halloween merch. I'm in on that shit. Look, there's a little Pichu hiding in a pumpkin. What? It's spooky season. I'm getting my spooky shit,
Don't fucking judge me.
guys. I unfortunately have adult money and a house to actually decorate for Halloween, so I'm kind of excited. Fuck off.
Now, instead of having adult money and childlike antics, trust me, I'm the exact same way.
There's a slight difference.
Yeah, there's a very slight difference.
What? I feel like I'm about to be insulted.
No. It's the things we would throw our money at.
Well,
I am. Huh?
You do Pokemon arcade cabinets and
Yeah.
emulators. I do Dakimakuras, anything that's sexual in nature, and sexual nature involving anime, more specifically VTubers. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm on that
And a
wholesome shit.
lot of waifu shirts.
A lot. I just ordered another one yesterday, and it came. And they also made a gym duffel bag that I also copped. And
I just
then
made my
also,
first trip with my duffel bag that says emotional damage.
this one's just gonna be a waifu one. Wait, I thought you got the assholes live forever duffel bag.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. It says emotional baggage, and on one side, and on the other side it says assholes live forever. I went on a business trip with my boss in a duffel bag. Didn't even blink.
And then didn't Bunny Girl get the one that says
Drug money.
Drug money. Yeah.
He brought that shit to the fucking Motionless and Horizon tour with us. We literally get out the car, walk into a casino, and he has a big ass duffel bag that says drug money in gold letters.
Let's fucking go.
Fucking clown.
I love it though.
Oh my god. So what was the question again?
Anything you want to say to the folks before we sign off?
Yes. Spooky season is spooky season is upon us, and enjoy the festivities, enjoy the tides while it is potentially going to be another one of the years where we kind of go into lockdown. So check out the haunted houses, go enjoy things while you and savor it. It's fall. It's gonna be colder, but man, we're at a fun time of the
Yeah, today is technically as of this recording, today is technically the first day of fall.
year.
Time to bring
Yeah.
out them hoodies and give them to your girlfriends and then never see them
Oh,
again.
fuck! You better not touch my VTuber hoodie.
Luckily,
Real.
I have what's called spare tire hoodies, meaning they're the backstock that I'll give out to people that I'm not expecting to see ever again.
Oh, same. I got my assholes live forever one that was $7.
Like
It's comfy.
I gave one of my friends one of my waifu hoodies from the lilac one for the most recent season of GamerStops. Immediately at the end of the night, I was like, "Hey, work it over, get back." No, 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 no. You ain't cool like that with me. Well, shout out GamerStops. Moving on. Anything you want to
Uh,
say to the folks before we sign off?
not other than just this spooky season, man. It's my favorite time of the year. I love this time of year. When weather starts cooling down, I'll be able to start wearing hoodies again. Playing horror movies all the time. I love this season.
Then, closing thoughts and statements from me. If you have an amusement park near you that has a frat fest, please go and check it out. Whether you are a big hulking man like me and is not afraid of anything, it's still fun to go check out the festivities. Go check out some of the rides, the falls. The bonfires shall be lit in mass. It's that time of the season to break out your flannels.
Litty.
To break out your flannels and to hang out with your loved ones, back tailgate of a truck, bonfires lit, beers with the boys. It's that time. And then also, as usual, I must say this. I said it about 3 times already this podcast, but once again, rest in peace, Sid Haig. You will always be remembered and never forgotten. You are cherished in this horror community. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this podcast with us. Just a heads up that down below, there's some buns in the comment section, and I highly suggest that you do whatever you'd like to with them. And we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.